What is the purchasing power of the minimum wage in Nigeria? Is it a living wage? Is it a policy or a token of thanksgiving to the worker for his work? Last week, we dealt with the mystery of the paycheck. Today, we are going to be very real to look at the minimum wage, and we are going to do a comparative analysis of what obtains in Nigeria with United States. Why do I choose United States? It's because Nigeria operates the presidential system of government modeled on the US system. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. Nigeria is an oil and gas giant, a member of Organization of Petroleum Economic Countries, OPEC. Nigeria is endowed with a lot of natural resources, hydrocarbon deposits, solid minerals, good weather, good soil conditions, manpower, people who are resilient, innovative, and ingenious. Nigeria has no justification for still being in the third world bracket. It ought to be, or ought to have been, in the first world bracket. Another country I'm going to also consider the minimum wage is Japan. Of course, we know that Japan has a passionate love for her labor. November 23 is set out in Japan to observe the Japan's Labor Day. And Japan is intentional about it. It's a day, Labor Thanksgiving Day, particularly a day set out to appreciate labor for productivity in Japan. November 23. Japan minimum wage is regulated by the Minimum Wage Act and is very enforceable. Enforcing the provisions of this minimum wage act are officers known as labor standards inspectors. These labor standard inspectors serve as judicial police personnel that look out for violators of the provisions of the Minimum Wage Act. The violation of the Minimum Wage Act of Japan attracts hefty penalties as much as 500,000 Japanese yen, which is equivalent to 4,417,660 naira. Every and any violator is liable for this penalty. We're going to look at the minimum wage. We'll start with Japan. Japan operates a minimum wage of 1,118 yen per hour, and that is equivalent to 10,062 naira per hour. That is for Japan. United States has a minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. And that gives you approximately 10,645 naira per hour. Now we're coming to Nigeria. The Minimum Wage Act 2019 has been on until last year. The Minimum Wage Act 2019 set minimum wage for 1 month or per month at 30,000 naira. The last year, there was an enactment, Minimum Wage Amendment Act 2025, that set the minimum wage at 70,000 naira per month. I remember there was a tussle between the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Nigerian government over this issue of the minimum wage. I remember I was in Abuja in June 2024 and I couldn't take my flight out of Abuja because the whole airports were grounded. At the end of the day, 70,000 minimum wage is set, and now 70,000 naira a month minimum wage for the Nigerian worker translates to 2,500 naira per day. And then per hour translates to approximately 42 naira. 42 naira per hour. It's not even up to 50 naira. And of course, in Nigeria, you can't even buy it's pure water. That's the cheapest one can buy at 42 naira. It's 50 naira per pack, that water packed in waterproof or nylon bag. Now, is this 42 naira minimum wage, is it in accord with justice? Is it in accord with equity? Is it in accord with fair play? Is it in accord with good conscience? Especially when we consider what the Nigerian senator receives per month. The basic salary of the Nigerian senator plus all the allowances. I did a research on it from the National Revenue Mobilization and Allocation Fiscal Commission website, and I was shocked at what I saw. I was shocked at the revelations. I was shocked at the disparity between our legislators and the Nigerian worker. Now, with 42 naira an hour for the Nigerian worker, or with 70,000 naira per month, wouldn't that encourage or enable corruption in the spirit of survival? 42 naira an hour, or 2,500 per day. Let's consider the prevailing economic realities in Nigeria. The food sector crisis, the multiple taxations on all fronts, the high pump price, the discriminatory electricity tariff, band A, band B, band C, and you know that even in band A or band B, there are many poor people there, and everybody is subject to this electricity tariff, and so many other issues. And I just wonder, are we thinking at all? Is it fair? Is that 42 naira an hour fair? Is it a token of thanksgiving to the work of the worker? Is that, I don't know how to put it. If we look at the case of Japan and United States of America, and of course we know that United States of America is the largest or the number one economy in the world. Japan used to be the second largest economy before China came up. I have my reasons, my reservations why I'm not using China in this comparative analysis. That's another topic for another day. Is 70,000 naira minimum wage feasible? Is it realistic? Would you consider about the transportation of the worker to and from office, the lunch, medicals for that worker, his family, rent, their Africans, extended family, members, and their domestic challenges? Is it fair? Is it not laughable that the giant of Africa is paying 42 naira an hour for the worker? Let's interrogate this issue of the minimum wage. I'm just making the submission to allow us to think, for the National Assembly to think on this issue, and for the Nigerian government, including the state government, to think on this issue. I want to also commend the Imo State government. Understand that Imo State government stepped up the state minimum wage to 104,000 naira, Lagos State 85,000 naira. That's a good one, but that's not very good. In the face of the endowments, the blessings that God Almighty has, bestowed on this nation. Let's think about this, the issue of the minimum wage. The last time we were talking about the mystery, the significance of the pig packet which of course, or the paycheck, which of course includes wage and whatever pensions, gratuities, allowances, and all that. Today, I want each and every Nigerian, everybody watching me, to consider whether 42 naira an hour minimum wage for the Nigerian worker is fair. Remember, unlike Japan, we don't have labor standard inspectors that go out for violators, employers that are violating the Minimum Wage Amendment Act 2025. We don't have such, such technology here in our country. So the worker, whether at the informal sector or in the formal sector, is at the whims and caprices of the employers. Is that not a breeding ground or enabling environment for crimes outside of the bribery and corruption that beset the Nigerian public sector and even the private sector? We hear about so many things happening even in the banking sector. Is that 42 naira an hour realistic in the face of what we hear? Billions of dollars being diverted and converted by former governors, by politicians. The other one was saying that she signed the will. I can't imagine how many dollars by others from above. Who gave that orders? Is that fair? Will it not lead to high crime rate in Nigeria? If a father that collects 70,000 naira a month has about 5 children, and the children are looking at the father are not up to date in taking care of them, wouldn't the children go to crimes, human organ harvesting, Yahoo Plus and all that, and perhaps prostitution? So I'm just submitting that 42 naira per hour for the Nigerian worker is unfair, is severe injustice, it's laughable, it shouldn't be in the face of Nigeria and who Nigeria is in the Committee of Nations, or even if she's not, what she ought to be and what she ought to have been in the Committee of Nations, competitively, competing with other global giants. Please let's think about it. Please, if you are watching me, kindly share this video to our Nigerians in the National Assembly and the states' houses of assembly. Let's see whether this issue of 42 naira per hour in the face of that which accrues to the worker in Japan and United States will start agitating their minds to do something more significant, more laudable. Thanks for watching. See you next time.